discuss this. Hold on. Let me wait till the YouTube is live. Let me make sure both is live. First things first, just my first initial reaction to going live is... I gotta fucking trim this thing up a little bit. This is it's a little bit rough here. But let's get right into it. The college football playoff rankings. I figured this would bring up a big debate. I figured this would be something we could discuss. There's a couple things that come to mind right away for me. I think the biggest takeaway is I don't like this right here. The Miami, Texas, Vanderbilt slot. Apparently Notre Dame dropped one spot. They did. I don't like the way they've ordered Miami, Texas, and Vanderbilt because I don't think Vanderbilt should be getting screwed like this. To me, that's my biggest takeaway of the whole this whole ranking is nobody has gotten more screwed in this whole system right here than the Vanderbilt Commodores. I think they have a better resume than Miami. I understand Texas being up there. I don't understand Miami being ahead of both Texas and Vanderbilt. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I'd probably flip-flop Vanderbilt and Texas also. I would be very pissed right now if I'm in the Nashville, Tennessee area. If I'm a Vanderbilt Commodores football fan, I would not be thrilled by this one at all. I think they're getting screwed here a little bit. Alabama, you can't... I know they're playing a conference championship. I feel like ranking them that high is the committee finding a way to, they're not going to punish them for playing in the SEC title game now. I would hope not. It's not their fault that they have to play an extra game now. They could have protected themselves a little bit more by maybe moving Alabama down a slot. I don't know. There's a lot to look at with this. This is I'm a little bit confused by these rankings. There's a lot of things I'm not thrilled with personally. I'd like to hear what your guys' opinions are. YouTube, we're live. TikTok, we're live. We're discussing. I'm sure there's a lot of fan bases that are not happy or they are very happy with what they are seeing. Again, I think my biggest takeaway is this 12, 13, 14. The 12, 13, 14 rankings of Miami, Texas, Vanderbilt. I don't know. I would not be thrilled. I'm not exactly stoked with that part of the ranking. I think Vanderbilt is getting absolutely screwed right now. But that's really what my big takeaway from this. Anybody else? What do we think? I think overall, if anything, pretty much the top 5 I have no issue with. Really, I think they pretty much got 1 through 10 as close to correct as they could. I don't like the fact that Vanderbilt's about to get screwed because I don't believe they should be a team that's left out. Let's say BYU loses. Let's say Alabama. Are these the new official rankings? These are the new official rankings. I'm confused. I don't know about you guys. I'm not happy with this spot right here. The Miami, Texas beat Vanderbilt. That's fine. Texas has 3 losses. Texas lost to Florida on the road, a 3-8 Florida team. Vanderbilt has a better resume. I get it. Texas won 3 games against top 10 teams. I don't think punishing Vanderbilt is fair here. What happens if Bama loses to Georgia? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So Miami's officially done, you would think. I don't think Miami can get in. I don't think Texas is going to get in either. But there's a lot that would have to happen. Take away the OSU game. Texas has 2 losses. Again, Garrett, that's hilarious because we're not taking away anything. I get it. You lose a game on the road to Ohio State. That's not exactly, you could probably take, you look at that, that's not really a big deal. But you lose to Florida on the road, that totally shits the bed, in my opinion, for the Texas Longhorns. That's a game they couldn't lose. Now, if you told me they lost to Ohio State, they lost to, Texas A&M, and they lost to... Who else did they? I forget. Oklahoma? I don't think that's that much of a problem. Oh, dude, please let me join this? No. No, you can talk in the comments, but I'm good. You can start your own live, too, if you want. I don't like when people come in here and talk, because every time it happens, people start to take it over. We could talk in here. Did Bama lose to FSU? They did. They did lose to FSU. They also have 2 losses, and they're playing for an SEC championship. Vandy should be in over Miami and Notre Dame. Definitely Miami. Notre Dame is a tough one. Notre Dame's a weird one. A lot of people like this, what have you done for me lately? Crap, I think it's a terrible thing for the committee. Because I could own your arguments, I'm not going to type reasons. Well, then don't type. I don't know what to tell you. Start your own fucking live. I'm not, like, I don't have guests because it never goes well. And then everybody wants to be a guest. It just doesn't work. I'm not a fan of it. But you want to type out an argument? Go ahead. If you have a great argument, let's hear it. Oh, God, a Jets fan, never mind, makes sense. Here we go. You know, you don't have an argument. Clearly not. Committee did great. I don't think they did. I don't like this section right here. This little section here. I think Vanderbilt's got a better resume than Miami. I would probably put them ahead of Texas because of Texas's 3 losses. Again, Texas has some really good wins, though, at the same time. So it's a tough balancing act to go for. BYU will lose to Texas Tech, which would probably push Texas into the playoffs, which, like, to me is such bullshit. You know, the committee for so long has, you know, been so adamant about teams playing a conference championship game. I noticed, like, with the ranking, I feel like they're putting themselves in a good place for if BYU loses to just drop them out. I don't think BYU should get punished for that, for playing an extra game. I kind of think they could be getting screwed by Notre Dame here. It's a lot. There's a lot of things to look at. There's a lot to take away here. Bama lost to FSU, but still beat a lot of high-ranking teams. They also have 2 losses, and they're playing an extra game because of their conference championship. Texas is arguably the hardest schedule. Manning first start. Yeah, no, absolutely. Texas played a tough schedule, for sure. Move your head. There you go. Texas played a tough schedule, for sure. I'm not denying that whatsoever, especially Ohio State. You can pretty much scratch the Ohio State loss for the most part if they didn't lose to Florida on the road. I think if their losses were slightly better, and they have some good wins, too. Texas did what they had to in the win column towards the end of the year. Like, I would put them ahead of Miami, for certain. I would not have Miami at 12. You know, I think Vanderbilt, you know, they have some big wins. I feel like they're getting screwed a little bit here. Texas, so they can vote a team like Vandy in over Miami and Notre Dame? Yes. SGA, what's up? It's a lot to unpack here. There is a lot of different things that you have to unpack when you look at these rankings. Like I said, Texas played a hard schedule. I get that. But Texas should not be in the college football playoff, in my opinion. I'm chilling, man. Vandy gets voted in Texas. I mean, like I said, if Miami gets in over Texas and Vandy, I think that's insane. I don't think that should happen. I also don't think Alabama should drop just because they play a conference championship should they lose to Georgia. I don't think that should happen. I think that's like, it's probably like, I don't know, it could. I love your Jets noggin ball set. Thank you. But I just realized that guy before was a Texas fan. It makes sense. Those people, you can't argue with somebody who's a fan of the, like, every single college football fan is the most, like, you know, out of touch person. Like they're all out of touch about their own team. You're a cool guy. I appreciate that. So basically it's top 11 because Tulane for sure going to win and make it in. Yeah, and then you got Virginia too, who gets an automatic bid if they the ACC gets an automatic bid. So no, not you, Frank. I'm talking to some guy before who said he wanted to join. Not you, Frank. You're good. Frank, we're having a good conversation here. That guy before, he's like, oh, you're a Jet fan, of course. Like, no, you're good. To be fair, you know, I'm a St. John's guy. I like St. John's a lot. I'm a little irrational about them. See, you're an Auburn fan. You're not in the mix, but you know what I mean. Like, you talk to somebody who's an Alabama fan, they're not going to like the idea of maybe they could be out. You talk to somebody who's a Texas A&M fan, they'll probably say, hey, we should be ahead of Ole Miss. Like, everybody when it comes to college sports is a big, like they're crazy about their teams, and it makes sense. Miami got robbed. No, they did not. Dassey, come on. Miami is absolutely undeserving of this spot ahead of the 2 teams that they're, like, that's crazy. No, absolutely not. I don't think Miami should be anywhere near the college football playoff. Their resume is miserable. They beat Notre Dame early in the year. Great. Compared to other resumes, their resume is not very good. Now, if they were playing for the ACC, surely. What do you think about OU game this weekend? I think Mendoza will struggle. I think it's a big test for Mendoza. I think we're going to get a good sense of what he is. Who has Notre Dame beaten? Notre Dame really hasn't beaten anybody either. I'm not disagreeing with you that Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's resume is very shaky. I'm going to a Christmas party on the 5th. Nice. I don't think Notre Dame's resume is that good either. I think Texas is getting screwed a little bit here. BYU's getting screwed probably more than anybody. Like, the committee basically said, hey, like now we have an excuse to leave. Now we have an excuse to leave BYU out if they lose their conference championship game, which is such bullshit. You know, don't make these teams play a conference championship. Like, they had such a fit years ago about it. Now that they're doing it, you're going to punish a team like BYU. It's just not, it's not right. Notre Dame, you're right. Notre Dame really didn't beat anybody this year. Like, it's crazy. But, you know, it's the brand recognition. They're always going to put teams that help the ratings. It's always the way. Whether or not we like it, it's always the way they're going to do. And Vandy, too. Notre Dame also lost to Miami, and Miami don't deserve it, so I believe 100% BYU and Vandy. Committee sees BYU like TCU situation a few years ago. You're right, Frank. You know what the thing is that sucks? Like, TCU a couple years ago, that's a situation like the whole TCU thing. Like, you talk about the year Ohio State got it and then won the championship. Because I was a big believer that year that TCU should have got in over Ohio State. Obviously, Ohio State ends up winning it all. The committee looks like a genius. But I thought TCU had the resume. But BYU, it's kind of crap. I don't know. They've done everything they've had to do. They're winning games. Yeah, are they the best team out there? I would say probably not. But they're doing what they need to do. You know, I'm so sick and tired of this. Like, it comes down to the committee deciding, like, what's the flavor of the week, deciding what they want to do. Whatever fits their agenda, they're going to use it, and they're probably going to leave BYU out because of that. But I don't know. Miami, I don't understand. Vandy's going to be like an FSU situation 2 years ago, maybe a little different. I don't know. Vandy, I could be okay with Vandy being left out. I'm not okay with them being behind Miami. I'm not totally okay with them being behind Texas. Again, Texas losing to Ohio State on the road probably should be a wash, but they lost to Florida at home on the road, a very bad Florida team. I'm not big on that. But they do have a lot of impressive wins. So, Texas being in the conversation, they should be. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a bunch of different perspectives. What do you think about Ole Miss dies at the absence of Kiffin? Make that big of a difference? Oh, does it? Oh, sorry, I just read that wrong. Does it make a big difference? Yeah, I think it does. I mean, losing Lane Kiffin, but luckily I think Charlie Weiss came back, right? Charlie Weiss Jr. came back, their offensive coordinator. I think Ole Miss is going to play. I feel like Ole Miss will probably play inspired football. Losing Lane Kiffin, though, is a tough thing. Lane Kiffin's one of the best coaches in college football. Notre Dame getting bounced out. They probably will. I mean, yeah, these group of fives, we'll see who gets in. I don't know. I'm not big on Notre Dame getting in here. I think they didn't win any games. There's a lot of things. You know, when you make an argument for one team, the problem is when you make one argument, you end up ruining an argument for another one. It's a very hard thing that the committee's doing. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like this is easy. And Frank, thanks for the follow. It's just one of those things. It's not so cut and dry. Like, I have Texas fans telling me, oh, like, we got to scratch the OSU loss. You can't. You have to look at the full resume. And I get it. Going to Ohio State on the road is a tough game. It's a miserable game. They lost it. It wouldn't be held against them, but they did lose on the road to a bad Florida team. Like, if they don't do that, they're in the driver's seat and probably in the college football playoff 100%. There's so many things. But last year, championship didn't mess with SMU ranking. Did it not? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, SMU was, like, fine last year. But BYU, they've put them in a place where they could screw them. My head is killing me right now. I've been, like, so sick these last couple I don't know what is wrong with me right now. But all right, guys, I'm gonna shut the stream down for a little bit. I'm gonna change the title real quick, and we will be right back.